Hello, it's me, Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist. And I had a couple of people stop by to visit me today. A couple Jehovah's Witnesses came to invite me to their church or something, their convention. And they weren't so much proselytizing as they were just coming to invite people to join them for their special thing. And of course, I stopped to talk to them for a while and feel them out on what they thought of certain things. And I declared myself as an atheist. And of course, they were like, well, we don't really, we're not here to convince you of anything. We're just trying to tell you that what we believe is true. And I pointed out that there's lots of people who believe that what they believe is true. And they pointed out that, yes, but we're the only ones who call God out by name, Jehovah. We know who God is, and we know we believe in the true God, and what we believe is true, and what other people believe is not true. Heard that story from everyone. In fact, that's pretty much what made me an atheist, is having every religion, every division of Christianity telling me what they believe was true, and what the other guys believed was not really true. They either lost their way or haven't found their way or whatever. But it amazes me that these people keep coming to my door and talking to me. I figured I'd be on the don't call on him list. But there was a gaggle of them. There was, I think, either 6 or 8 of them walking the neighborhood, inviting people. And I've been invited by, I don't know if it's this church or a different one, but Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons and a few others have been to my house over the years, inviting me to their events. And it got me to thinking about what I do on YouTube. Am I proselytizing? Sometimes I feel like I am. I'm not telling people what to believe. And in some ways, these people are not telling me what to believe. They're just giving me the option of what they believe is being correct. And in many ways, I'm doing kind of the same thing. I'm telling people that they have no reason to believe that their God is real. And while these people are telling me kind of the same thing, they're telling me that their God is real and I should believe in their God. Where I'm just saying all of them are pretty much equally unreal. I don't like to think that I'm proselytizing, and it bothers me sometimes to think that I might be. I don't want to tell people that they're wrong. I don't want to tell people that I'm right, because I don't know. As an atheist, I do not know whether there is or is not a God. I'm making no such claim of knowledge, which makes me agnostic. And some people said, oh, agnostic is a more honest, position to have. And agnostic is a different position to have. Agnosticism is a position of whether you know or don't know. And any honest theist or atheist would say they are agnostic because they do not know. God is something that you cannot know. God, despite what many people have said, God has not revealed itself, if it does in fact exist. There are many people like Matt Dillahunty who studied, he was going to be a priest. He, more than most people, should know whether or not God reveals himself, because if he hasn't revealed himself to Matt, then I can't imagine there is any such God. Because why does God reveal himself to some podunk guy in the middle of nowhere and not somebody that everyone knows? And people like Ken Ham or Ray Comfort or William Lane Craig, who say God has revealed themselves, they're just full of crap. They're selling bullshit and people are buying it up and they are making a lot of money. Not as much as Joel Osteen. He's making a hell of a lot of money by telling people God, don't get me started on him. But anyways, back to my point, proselytizing. Coming door to door is proselytizing. Even if your only message is to say, come join us at our church. because you're saying our church is the right church and you should come to our church. That's what they are doing. That is proselytizing. Proselytizing is saying that what I believe is the thing that you should believe, so you should come join me in believing what I believe. That's what proselytizing is. What I'm doing here on YouTube is saying, examine what you believe. I don't believe what you believe, assuming that you believe that there's a God. And here are my reasons why I don't believe you. And I'm encouraging people who don't believe that there's a God to let that out, to open up and express that disbelief. But I'm not telling anyone, or at least I don't think I am, I'm not telling anyone that they shouldn't believe in God. Though I am saying that they don't have a good reason to believe that there is a God. Because that's my opinion. And my opinion is that believing in a God is silly. Believing that there is a literal God is something that has been passed on for thousands of years, and it's just a bad habit that's been carried forward. It is just a habit of people to believe that there is a God, because that's what people do. And when people don't believe in God, especially, in years past, they were persecuted. They were punished for not believing. So there was a lot of motivation for believing that there was a God, or at least saying that you believe that there's a God. But that motivation has pretty much died away. So now it's just habitual. It's habitual that people say they believe in God. Because personally, I think that most people who go to church don't actually believe that there's a God. But they think their family does, and they think it's the proper thing to do, so they go to church. And it's a lie that's carrying over generation to generation. Believing in God is just what we do. I mean, that's what I got from my family. My family, when I found out that they actually believed in God, I just thought believing in God was something, that's what we do. We believe in God. And we believe in Santa Claus because we have Christmas. But we don't actually believe it. And I was like 17 when I found out that my family actually believed it. And I was like, really? Do you also think Santa Claus is real? I mean, I don't think I actually said that, but I thought it. But proselytizing. Do you think that I proselytize? Do you think I'm trying to tell you that there is no God? Because let me state flat out, I am not saying that there is no God. I don't know. I don't know whether or not there is a God. I only know that I've never, ever been given any kind of reason to believe that there's a God. I haven't been giving the slightest. I have been given better reasons to believe that Bigfoot is real. I have been given better reasons to think Santa Claus is real. But believing a God that created the universe and Earth for us, that is, even as a child, that struck me as ridiculous. Especially when they told me the story of Noah's Ark, and that I should believe that. And that was the main catalyst that made me an atheist. That was the tipping point that made me say, I don't think what they are telling me is true. And they are telling me that I need to believe it. And when people tell me I need to believe something, generally speaking, it's not something that is true. Because if you tell somebody that they need to believe it, it's because they don't have a good reason to convince you. And if they don't have a good reason to convince you, or a good way to convince you, then you don't need to believe anything. People like to say that science is your religion. It's like, well, no, science is not a religion. In fact, science is just, they say science is a philosophy. Like, science is not a philosophy. Science is a tool that we use to figure things out. I don't believe in science. Sometimes I don't even trust it. But I generally speaking, I think the tool of science is used to find things out. And generally speaking, I think it is a viable and accurate way of finding things out. And that's why I tend to trust science. But I don't believe in science. Science is a tool to find things out. That's all it is. It's not a philosophy. Philosophy is something totally different. In fact, I have a low opinion on philosophy. Philosophy to me is something that is used to mentally masturbate a lot of the time. I mean, philosophy is the precursor to science. Philosophy was a way of asking questions that were unanswerable. And eventually we were able to answer them with science. But philosophy is still around. Daniel Dennett is still a philosopher. And he's said many things that are very intelligent. But, you know, he's still just stating opinions on how he thinks about things. And how you think about things is philosophy. That's all it is. How we as human beings think is philosophy. It's not science. Anyway, I've gone off again. I am Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist. And if you think I proselytize, please let me know. I'm curious if anyone has that opinion. And if you get Jehovah's Witnesses or Mormons or anyone else coming to your door, do what I do. Ask them, just say, I'm an atheist. Would you be interested in having me speak at your church to explain what atheism is? Because most people, and the people I talked to, didn't know what atheism was. Most people don't know what atheism is. Invite yourself to speak with them. And you'll probably get the answer that I always get, and these guys gave me, which was, no, we're not really interested in that. Because we're not here to promote anything else. We're here to promote our religion. We don't care about what other people believe. We only care what we believe, and that's what we're here for. And atheism would just be a silly thing to talk about. So, anyways, Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist. Pass it on. And I'll catch you next time. Bye.